Hello.
Hello.
My name's Sandy. What's your name?
My name is Alessandro.
We have the same name.
Yes.
Ah. So, it's Alessandro Nuzzo?
Yes.
Is that correct, Nuzzo?
Nuzzo, yes, it's correct.
And you're doing grade 10.
Yes.
So, Alessandro, may I see your identity card,
Yes.
please? Thank you. Thank you. Is that a driving license?
No,
ID?
it's
ID.
electronic
I see.
card.
Okay, so Alessandro, we're going to start with your presentation. Do you have some notes for me? May I
Yes.
use this? Thank you. May I take this out?
Yes.
Because I may write on it as we're going along to help us with the second part, which is the discussion.
Discussion.
Then we do an interactive task, 3 listening tasks, and have a conversation about 2 areas. Okay, so I will just turn this round slightly. When this gets to 5, we'll move on.
Okay.
So,
My presentation is about Robert Louis Stevenson. He is an author of the Victorian age. Firstly, I will talk about his life, then I will move on the society which he lived, that was the Victorian society. Thirdly, I will talk about his masterpiece, the Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And in the end, I will explain the Freud theory in his most important books, that is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Firstly, Stevenson, who has had a great life, he traveled a lot all around England, France, America, and then he died in Samoa, that is an island in the Pacific Ocean. But the most part of his life was in London, where there was the in the Victorian age, where the Queen Victoria gave a lot of instruction to the society and the people in general. And in particular, there was a great hypocrisy, because rich people used to have bad behavior to the people, poor people. In particular, these social matters are in the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where it's important the theme of the double, because Mr. Hyde is the bad part of Dr. Jekyll. When Dr. Jekyll takes this kind of potion, he becomes Mr. Hyde, that is his evil part. But also, there are some Freudian theories in his masterpiece. In particular, the fact that Mr. Hyde represents the id, the most, the evil part, the unseen part of our mind, and Dr. Jekyll represents the superego, that is the all the social and all the social issues that our mind has. In fact, for this reason, Stevenson has a very important analysis, made a very important analysis of the character's mind. Whereas, for example, another important author of the Victorian age was Dickens. He used to represent stereotype characters. And in this way, I think that Dickens is one of the most important author of the Victorian age. I'm sure that is one of the most interesting authors.
Thank you. Okay, now I'd like to discuss some of the points you've made. So is there anything you'd like to ask me about this?
To ask?
Yes.
What did you enjoy the part where I talk about the Freudian theories in Stevenson's works.
It's interesting, that idea, and I hadn't heard that before. I don't quite understand though how Victoria comes into the equation here in terms of instructing society. I've not heard of this before.
Yes, because it's not very clear, but I will try to make you understand better these important things, because Victorian society very influenced a lot Stevenson. He was very he noticed that there was a lot of bad things in that society, because poor people were be treated by rich people. So in this way, and but rich people lived in a sort of a different world. And for example, this was something that was very impressive for students.
Okay, so are you talking about Victorian society in general,
Yes,
or Queen Victoria instructing society?
Victorian society was very influenced by Queen Victoria because she made some laws that were very influenced a lot the society.
Yes, it's often been said that her rules were very restrictive on society, and she warped society and the way that people did things.
Yes, I studied that in that age. Queen Victoria wanted people were very puberty. There was a lot of puberty of people.
Lot of, sorry?
Queen Victoria didn't want that people show their, for example, show their body when they came out from their home.
Okay.
It's something that made the society very strange in this way. From the society before, or maybe today. It's something really particular.
So to sum up, are you saying that's a really bad thing?
The Victorian society?
No, the way she changed society.
Yes, I think that the society was changed in a very bad way, because people had less freedom than before and afterwards.
So, do you think that particular imposition affected Jekyll and Hyde in that respect? Do you think it had an influence?
Yeah, it's clear that Dr. Jekyll represents all the good part of the society, the high society of London, that want to show all the good values, all the good values. Whereas Mr. Hyde represents all the bad things of the society, that it was not seen in the high society, for example, in the suburbs. And this is described better by Dickens in his masterpiece, that is that David Copperfield, Oliver Twist.
And how does that come into Dickens? Which part of David Copperfield?
It's related to...
Yes,
Yeah, Mr. Hyde, for example, lived in Soho. That was at that time was a very bad place in London. And in the same way, Dickens wrote that Oliver Twist, for example, lived in the suburbs of London, where he did a lot of things, and at the end he became happy when he was taken by his new family.
I see. Well, thank you very much. It was very interesting. And now we're going to move on to the interactive task. And in this task, I'll start by telling you something. You'll have to ask me questions to find out more information and make comments. It's your responsibility to maintain the conversation. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
When I was a child, it was perfectly acceptable for teachers to hit their pupils when they misbehaved. Nowadays, however, people seem to have quite different views on this.
Yes. Nowadays, for example, in Italy, is forbidden to hit the students. There is a law that make this absolutely not possible. Do you think that this is a good law for our society?
The new law?
That this new law is an important innovation in our society?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you prefer the old method of instruction of the last century?
Yes, I think it was a lot better, much more effective.
And why do you think that this method was better?
Well, my uncle was a school teacher, and he was a brilliant teacher, and occasionally he hit his pupils. He wasn't violent, but he did occasionally, and they adored him. His students adored him.
Okay. I can imagine that a student would love his teacher if he hits him sometimes. I don't know. But I'm sure that this method was also a good method because on the other hand, the students had more respect for the figure of the teacher. Do you agree with me?
I think in moderation it did produce more respect. I mean, I think it must be so hard now to work in a school where you can never do that.
But you can also think about the fact that now teachers try to make a new kind of relationship with the students that is a more familiar, more friendly relation.
Yes.
Do you think that this is good for the students but also for the teachers?
I think in an ideal school that would be great, but maybe it's the case in Naples. It's certainly the case in London. There are some areas where it would be impossible to have that friendly relationship.
Yes, I agree with you because sometimes also in some area of Naples it's difficult to make this kind of relationship because students are very but sometimes violent, and this is something that is important to consider. So I also agree with you with the fact that sometimes teachers have to be more sweet, but never violent. This is my idea. But do you think about the fact that nowadays it's very simple to accuse a teacher when he hit the students?
You mean unjustly accused, without any foundation of truth, you mean?
Yes. I mean,
I suppose so.
Yes, because I heard that a teacher in the last year hit a student, but in a very soft way, and their parent accused the teacher to be very bad.
And what happened?
And they went to process to a lawyer, and then.
I imagine that the teacher's life was ruined.
Yes.
It's difficult, isn't it? Well, thank you very much. And now we're going to move on to the listening task. I'm going to read you 3 short passages, and after I've finished each one, I'd like you to either suggest a suitable ending or answer a question. I'll then move on to the next passage. Are you ready? These 2 passages are incomplete. When I stop, I'd like you to tell me in just a few words how you think the passage finishes. I've no problem with long distances, but it's getting harder to make things out close up, especially if the light is poor. The small print on labels or in newspapers is becoming a bit of a problem too, and I often find myself squinting. There's nothing else for it. I really think I'll have to start wearing
glasses.
Thank you. Second one. My poor friend Mike came back from the beach the other day with a bright red face and wincing in pain every time something brushed his skin. He is usually cautious and sensible, but although he'd set out with all the right gear for a hot day, apparently he'd fallen asleep by the sea without putting on any
coat.
Thank you. After I've read this passage, I'll ask you a question about what you've heard. These days, couples choose to celebrate it in all sorts of weird and wonderful places. A tropical beach seems to be the latest popular choice, with all their family and friends. For some people, the more remote the venue, the more romantic the occasion. Then, of course, there are those who prefer to stick to the traditional religious or civil proceedings. What is the speaker describing?
He is talking about marriage.
Thank you. Now, we're going to move on to the conversation. And have you prepared subjects from list A or list B?
List B.
List B. Okay, I'd like to talk about scientific developments. There's a tremendous amount discussed at the moment about the moral issues surrounding stem cells and what can be created from stem cells, creating different parts of a human body.
Yes, this is a very interesting issue. In the last year, there were a lot of developments in this technology, and I agree with people that want that this research about this kind of new medical technology go through because I heard that some people don't want to use this medical technology because it deals with staminal cells, things like that.
What do you imagine could be problematic about this? Surely it could only be a good thing.
I know that to make these things with staminal cells, it is necessary to take cells from the very early body when it is in the mother. And this is something that, for example, religious institutions don't want to do at all.
So, why would that be?
Because they, in their mentality, they are killing a new life in this way, taking these cells, because in this way we are able to make a new life, a new person, with killing the the life before. It's something very strange. It is. I don't know very well about the process, but I know that there are a lot of discussion about that. But
what about the idea of cloning and sort of developing a completely new human being? Surely that's good, isn't it?
I think it's no. I don't have a clear idea about that. But I think that cloning people is something very strange, something that we have to be afraid to, because we, for example, a lot of years ago, they cloned a ship that was called Dolly. I think I can't remember. But it's clear that this is something very incredible. I don't know if I have my clone. I will be happy to have a clone with me. It's something that I really can imagine. And I don't know. I think that I'm not very interested to improve the research on cloning.
So, are you saying overall then that you don't agree with scientific development?
I don't agree with the scientific development about cloning people, but I agree with the scientific developments that help people with the staminal cells to have some new things like that.
I see. Thank you. Let's talk now about the future of the planet.
Yes.
All we ever hear is negative statements and comments about the future of the planet. So I suppose that means that there's just no hope for us in the future.
Yes, I'm sure that it's not true that we have no future with this planet. I hope that in the next years technologies in general will help us to save the planet, but also to save our lives. To save our life.
So you don't think it's too late?
No, I don't agree with people that say it's too late to save our planet, because we have a lot of instruments to save the planet. For example, the recycle of the rubbish, or the green energies. For example, the photovoltaic energy. This kind of new developments will help us to make green energy and save the atmosphere by all the bad things that we are doing now. Like also, for example, driving our car is wasting our air.
But somebody might say, well, green energy is all very well, but for example, producing electric cars, it's way too expensive and it's never going to be put to practical use.
I'm not sure that it will be not practical, because in the next, I heard that in Sweden, in the 2025, it will be illegal to drive a car that is alimented by gasoline.
To 2025? But that's a long way ahead.
Yes, but this is a great, a small help to the development of this technology, I think, because if in Sweden no one would drive gasoline cars, it would be difficult, it would be impossible to not use electric cars, no?
Well, I hope we're all still on the planet by then. Thank you very much. It's been very nice to meet you. Thank you.